Welcome to NOLA Motorsports Park and the NOLA SpeedTour as we kick off round one of the 2022 F4 United States Championship powered by Honda. Here's the starting grid for you. Starting on the pole, first driver you'll see come into your picture, Matt Christensen out of Orlando, Florida in the 45 car. Noah Ping will start in second spot. Bryson Morris will start third. Next to Bryson, Lochie Hughes out of Gold Coast, Australia. In row 3, Ryan Shehan out of Horseshoe Bay, Texas, followed by Alex Berg out of Buford, Georgia. In row 4, Lewis Hodgson from Sydney, Australia, and Gabriel Fonseca out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. In row 5, Artie Flores out of León, Mexico, and Nicholas Rivers from Wheatley Heights, New York. In row 6, Lucas Fecury out of São Luís, Brazil. Next to him, Alan Isambard out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Row 7, Louka St-Jean from Lorraine, Quebec, Canada, and Seth Brown from San Diego, California. Row 8, Tyke Durst from Cary, North Carolina, and Carl Bennett from Yorba Linda, California. Oliver Westling, the Swede, now making his home in Emerald Hills, California, next to Joe Ostholthoff from Atlanta, Georgia. Maddie Aust out of Mansfield, Texas is in row number 10 next to Maite Cáceres, the Uruguayan currently making her home in Miami, Florida. Max Parker is in row 11 from Los Gatos, California next to Zheng from New York City. And alone in row 12, car number 8, David Burketh from Laurel, Maryland. As we wait for the light sequence to begin, 5 lights will illuminate. When they go out, we are racing. The lights are out and we are away. Everybody gets away cleanly. Jockeying for position all through the field as they head down toward turn number 1. Lochie Hughes diving down to the inside, 4 wide as they make their way down toward the first turn on the first lap. Looks like Matt Christensen is going to slot into that first spot as they make it through turn 2 and then head down toward turn number 3, back-to-back horseshoe turns. Matt Christensen followed by his teammate Noah Ping. Ping goes alongside as they head down into turn number 3, looking for a way around the outside. There to pick up the pieces, the Crosslink Kiwi driver Bryson Morris and Lochie Hughes. As we ride along with Bryson Morris next to Noah Ping as they work their way through turn 4 and back onto the front straightaway as they head toward turn number 5, a triple apex right-hander. Matt Christensen and Noah Ping showing the way to Bryson Morris in the 3rd spot. Lochie Hughes from J. Howard Driver Development pops into your picture through turn number 7 as they come on to the short chute that takes them down into the S's, starting with turn number 8. And they weave their way through the S's, sharper at the beginning and then gradually easing up as they get through it, leading down to a heavy braking zone at turn 13, one of the best passing opportunities on the racecourse. Matt Christensen showing the way down into that braking zone as he hits the apex, and then into turn 14. And then the 2 right-handers, turns 15 and 16, which lead onto the front straightaway and the beginning of a new lap. Christensen working to get a little temperature into those front tires. You can see the car understeering. The 2 Ganella Racing teammates, Tyke Durst and Carl Bennett, side by side, just at the tail end of the top 15. Popping out just behind him, the number 1 of Max Parker from Jensen Global Advisors. He started in the next to the last row. Our leader, Matt Christensen, showing the way through turn 1. But a spin there in the background. Lewis Hodgson leaves his braking a little too late. Noah Ping coming under increasing pressure from the Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport driver Bryson Morris. We ride along with Noah Ping, the 2nd place runner for Velocity Racing Development, as he chases after his teammate, heading into turn 4 now. Then back 1 spot to Bryson Morris, right on the gearbox of Noah Ping, as they work their way through turn number 4 and head down toward turn 5, the first of 3 right-handers. Lochie Hughes makes a lunge but can't make it stick as he falls back from Bryson Morris, who in turn is closing down on Noah Ping in the battle for 2nd. There's Ryan Shehan, Alex Berg, Nicholas Rivers with Gabriel Fonseca right behind. We ride along with David Burketh from Future Star Racing. Started dead last and has been working his way up the field. A tough break for him in qualifying put him at the back of the pack, but he is showing great racecraft, working his way up through the field. Through the S's he goes, closing down on Tyke Durst as he sends it down into turn 13. And he's able to make that pass stick. Closing up right on the back of the number 2 of Oliver Westling, the Swedish driver, as they work their way through turn 16 and back onto the front straightaway. As we stay with David Burketh working his way forward. At the front, no change in the order. The top 8 still running nose to tail. There's the 22 of Artie Flores, and then side by side for 10th, Alan Isambard and Louka St-Jean. Oliver Westling gets a little squirrely under braking. We ride with Gabriel Fonseca as he tries to go around the outside of Nicholas Rivers at turn 3. Falls back in behind in the run down to turn 4. We ride with Tyke Durst a little further back as he challenges the 55. Whoa, look at that. Max Parker dive bombs the 55 of Lucas Fecury. Tyke Durst tries to make some hay heading down toward turn 5. Back with the leaders, Lochie Hughes going a little defensive, trying to hold off the 65 of Noah Ping. Right behind them, this battle with Ryan Shehan as we ride with Alex Berg right on the back of Shehan as they weave their way through the S's. Berg, a second-generation racer from his native Canada. His father, Alan, drove with the Osella team in Formula One. Just behind that battle, Nicholas Rivers trying to hold off Brazilian Gabriel Fonseca. As we ride once again with Berg in the 6th spot. Nicholas Rivers goes a little wide there, coming onto the front straightaway. That's going to open the door for Gabriel Fonseca in the run down toward turn 1. There goes Fonseca diving to the inside. Meanwhile, at the front, the leader, Matt Christensen, opening up a pretty comfortable advantage. As Matt, with no one in front of him, the Velocity Racing development pilot tries to stretch his lead over Bryson Morris in 2nd. There's Christensen heading toward turn 4. We ride with Noah Ping in 4th, chasing Lochie Hughes, who drops a wheel at the exit of turn 4. Noah Ping has a bit of a run into 5, but not quite close enough to make a challenge for that 3rd spot. As they work their way through turns 5, now 6. Back to the progress of David Burketh as he continues to work his way forward. Into the S's. Fonseca now trying to close down on Ryan Shehan. That's a great 3-way battle. Berg, Shehan, and Fonseca as they hit the brakes for turn 13. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Alex Berg into turns 15 and 16. On board with David Burketh once again as he closes down on Carl Bennett from the Gonella Racing stable as he works his way toward the top 10. Noah Ping late on the brakes at turn 1, trying an outside pass on Lochie Hughes. We ride with Gabriel Fonseca as he's chasing down Ryan Shehan just in front. Alex Berg in front of Shehan as they close down on turn number 4. Noah Ping once again on board with him as he's chasing Lochie Hughes, trying to get back into that top 3 position. A little wide for Ping. That's going to cost him a bit as he comes into turn 7, heading toward the S's. In the background, there's David Burketh pressuring Carl Bennett. Side by side are those two in the background. Meanwhile, Berg, Ryan Shehan, and Gabriel Fonseca. 5th, 6th, and 7th as they continue their battle. Once again with Berg up in front. Noah Ping going a little bit wide as Berg tries to close down. Matt Christensen into turn 1, dropping a wheel off, kicking up a little dust as we ride with our leader, heading down toward turn number 3. Clipping the apex nicely, and then back toward turn number 4. Berg with Shehan all over him, and Fonseca there to pick up the pieces just behind Noah Ping. As we ride with the second place runner, Bryson Morris. Seeing Matt Christensen drop a wheel off may give him new life as he tries to close down on the leader. Once again, Christensen goes a little wide. Berg, Shehan, and Fonseca nose to tail for 5th, 6th, and 7th. We ride with Fonseca at the tail end of that trio as they snake their way through the S's. Fonseca and Shehan both racing for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports as Fonseca sends it down to the inside at 13, but not quite close enough to complete that pass. Meanwhile, Berg motoring along, trying to keep both of those drivers behind him. David Burketh continues his march as he finally gets around Carl Bennett and now has his sights set on the 55 of Alan Isambard. Burketh getting a good run, Isambard just in front as they come across the line. Burketh looking for the option as Isambard goes defensive, late on the brakes, down to the inside, and he's got it done. Burketh now up one more spot. His next challenge will be Louka St-Jean in the 98, and just in front of Louka is the 22 of Artie Flores. David Burketh cracking the top 10 now as he sets his sights on Louka St-Jean just ahead. What a great three-way battle as Burketh goes around the outside of St-Jean. Just in front of them is the 22 of Artie Flores, clipping the apex at turn 7. Flores, St-Jean, and Burketh with whom we ride. Alan Isambard just falling off the back of that battle as they're right at the tail end of the top 10. Once again, Burketh tries to go around the outside as Louka St-Jean goes defensive down into turn 13. Artie Flores in the Ganella Racing number 22 just in front of those two. Great battle right at the tail end of the top 10. Onto the front straight they come. Burketh getting a good run this time as he wastes no time dropping to the inside of Louka St-Jean. St-Jean indeed with Flores up in front now. Burketh tries to sell the dummy and see if he can go around the outside. Louka St-Jean goes for the position inside of the 22 of Flores and takes it over as Burketh there looking for the option to get around either of them. So Louka St-Jean up into the position, but here comes the 22. Once again, as Flores tries to go around the outside, Burketh there to pick up the pieces. Great racing here between these four. Once again, Burketh late on the brakes down into turn 4. Alan Isambard trying to have another look, but not close enough. St-Jean, then the 22 of Flores, then Burketh with whom we ride. Clipping the apex of turn 7. as they head for the S's. Burketh right on the gearbox of Artie Flores. In fact, takes a really bold move into the S's, side by side in an area where it's really tough to pass. That's usually single file, but Burketh hangs on to it. What a great move for David Burketh from Future Star Racing. And the battle at the front is getting more interesting as Matt Christensen losing a little pace and has now got some company as Bryson Morris is now right on his gearbox, as Christensen's formerly comfortable lead has evaporated, and Bryson Morris putting the pressure on. Christensen for Velocity Racing Development, Morris for Crosslink Kiwi, as they are nose to tail. Christensen clearly struggling just a bit for grip, as Morris has the car under him as he works his way around turn 4 and toward turn number 5. You can see Morris checking the mirrors as he knows that Lochie Hughes is not far behind in third. Pretty good three-way battle brewing now for the lead of the motor race. Bryson Morris out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee for Crosslink Kiwi. Challenging the early leader, Matt Christensen. As we can see the cars dropping off the pace, as I believe we have a safety car coming out. Yes, there's the double yellow flags waving from the flag stand at turn 13. So the field will pack up behind our leader, as they'll come onto the front straightaway to be picked up by the Honda Civic Type R safety car. There is the safety car in the distance as the field will pack up. Just starting race lap number 10 behind the safety car. The safety car pulls into the pit lane. We're ready for the restart. Matt Christensen, Bryson Morris, Lochie Hughes, Noah Ping, Alex Berg just behind him, as Christensen drops the hammer and begins the run toward the green flag as we're back underway. As we're starting race lap 12, Noah Ping running in 4th spot. Hughes going side by side with Morris. Ping decides to go down the inside, late on the brakes. Noah Ping makes a bold move and goes from 4th to the lead. Noah Ping on top of the order. Lochie Hughes and Matt Christensen going side by side. And here's Bryson Morris trying to make it 3 wide in the run down toward turn 3. Still side by side for 2nd spot. Now Lochie Hughes back into 3rd as Bryson Morris goes wide at the exit of 3, dropping 2 wheels off into the grass. Matt Christensen now finds himself in 2nd spot with Noah Ping, his teammate, making a bold move on the restart, going from 4th to the lead. Christensen's onboard camera a little worse for wear. So it's Ping, Christensen, and Lochie Hughes as your top 3. Bryson Morris falls back into 4th position. Ryan Shehan and Alex Berg. Gabriel Fonseca dropping off the tail of that group just a touch, as we watch the 2 Velocity teammates take over the top 2 spots. Lochie Hughes trying to break the draft of Bryson Morris just behind him, weaving as Hughes is going to guard that inside line. Morris is going to stay to his outside, try to get a little better run through turn one. As those two stay side by side, you can see Morris dropping a couple wheels off. Here's Ryan Shehan going side by side with Morris. And now here comes Alex Berg trying to join the party as he goes around the outside at turn 3. But can't quite close the deal. Morris goes wide once again. There's Berg and Morris into turn 4 behind Ryan Shehan, as the order shuffled up just a bit after that restart. We ride with Alex Berg. Morris just ahead of him, Shehan just in front of him. As the two leaders, Noah Ping and Matt Christensen, dive into the S's. Lochie Hughes for Jay Howard in that third spot as the field strings through after the restart. And the two Velocity Racing Development teammates, nose to tail, coming out of turn 13 through 14 they go. And back a spot, there's Ryan Shehan in the 66. Followed by his teammate, Bryson Morris. Once again, David Burketh getting a little bit of a reprieve after the safety car period, able to close right up on the back of the 98 of Louka St-Jean. Burketh holding strong down to the inside. Meanwhile, the two teammates going after it, as Matt Christensen tries to go around the outside of his teammate Noah Ping, then does the over-under as Ping goes a little wide. They are side by side, run toward turn number 4. Ping on the inside, Christensen on the outside. We ride with Christensen, Ping drifting over to the left, as then we jump on with Ping and they touch, and they both spin. The two Velocity Racing Development teammates spin off at turn number 5. Bryson Morris inherits second spot. Lochie Hughes in the distance there, with Ryan Shehan, Alex Berg, Gabriel Fonseca there in the 76, and Nicholas Rivers right behind him. So Hughes with the advantage into the S's, comfortably out in front. As the battle behind him stays nose to tail, with Morris, Shehan, and Berg. Gabriel Fonseca not far behind, Nicholas Rivers at the tail end of that grouping. There's Rivers, and then Artie Flores, and there's David Burketh, all the way to 8th after starting dead last on the field as we stack up behind the safety car. And I think we're close enough to the end of this race that this is going to end under full course yellow. Louka St-Jean comes home in 9th, and Alan Isambard will take the final points-paying position in 10th spot.
Top 3 finishers making their way into the podium area. The winner, Lochie Hughes, brings his drive development machine to a stop here on the
First American race, how's it feel?
Yeah, pretty happy. We got a little bit lucky there, but we were catching them, and yeah, it was a bit of a crazy race, especially that restart into 1. I didn't know what was going to happen, and everyone was locking up and almost crashing, but yeah, really happy to take the win. Can't thank the boys at Jay Howard Driver Development enough. Hopefully we can continue this on.
Let's bring our 3rd place finisher up. We'll get the podium ceremonies underway. Ryan Shehan, ladies and gentlemen. The pride of Horseshoe Bay, Texas. Ryan, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. That was kind of a hairy race at the end, my friend. Tell us a little about it from your perspective.
Yeah, me and Alex were fighting for most of the race. We kind of let the leaders go. So I thought, 5th was probably going to be the best result, and that happened. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Anybody you'd like to thank for your podium?
Yeah, the entire CrossLink Kiwi team, my mechanic Billy, my engineer, Steven, and just everyone there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Third place finisher in his first race of the year, Ryan Shehan, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Baker, our series photographer, will get a couple snaps, and then we'll bring up our second place finisher, and that is Bryson Morris, ladies and gentlemen. Bryson, not your first trip to the podium, despite just a limited season last year. Great to see you landing a full season ride with Crosslink Kiwi. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, thank you. It was a close race. I was closing up on first for a while. Then the safety car came out, and I made a bit of a mistake on the restart. So that dropped me back a bit, and then I was in fourth, and I was kind of just hoping something would happen up front, and it did. So I was just happy to see that I was to come across second, just take away a good result.
Yeah, and after the restart, you were able to get around Ryan, so at least you got up to second spot.
Yeah, that's true. It was a close fight at one of the last few corners, but I just got him down the straight with the draft.
Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, everyone at Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports, my mom, my dad, and then everyone that came out to support me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Second place finish, ladies and gentlemen, Bryson Morris. And now the man of the hour in his first start in our championship. Welcome to Lochie Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. Lochie, congratulations. Again, I think you probably thought on the last couple of laps that third was the best you were going to do, and then that happened.
Not really. I thought we were catching the leaders ahead. Actually, when the first safety car happened, I was a bit disappointed because I thought it was looking good. But yeah, then the restart was a bit hectic and sort of made up a spot, lost a spot, and then that was it really.
I was going to say on the restart that it looked like you guys got about 3 wide on the way down to turn number 1. Noah Bing was right there as well, but hey, you managed to keep your nose clean and come out on front. Anybody you'd like to thank for your first win on the year?
Just thank everyone at Shehan Driver Development for the car and for working so hard over the off season and everything. So looking forward to the next race and hopefully a few more wins.
All the way from Gold Coast, Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Lochie Hughes, your first winner on the year. All right, we get to do the hat dance at this point as we acknowledge our season-long sponsors at each of our podium celebrations. So Gavin gets a shot of our podium finishers with the Lucas Oil hats on. We thank Lucas Oil for sponsoring not only the F4 and the FR championship, but the SVRA racing as well. Next round of hats. Ligier, the maker of this beautiful race car, Ligier Automotive North America. Max Crawford here this weekend with his crew to design and develop this car, designed by the late great Andy Scriven. Okay. And one more round of hats for Hankook. Donnie Van Dongen and his crew from Nashville, Tennessee, providing these Hankook racing slicks for both of our championships.
Let's hear the crowd.
Let's get one more round of applause for your top 3. Ryan Shehan, Bryson Morris, and Lochie Hughes, your podium for Formula 4 U.S. race number 1.
Okay.
Jay Howard crew, can we get you to roll the car out of the line of fire before we spray the sparkling beverage? None of these drivers are of age, so we use a sparkling juice rather than champagne. But they're not waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, the champagne celebration. We'll be back with you with the podium for Formula Regional Americas, our last race of the day, in just a couple hours.